All right.
Hello, welcome back. We're in the midst of another heat wave. I'll tell you, it's been like the hottest summer on record. So we're going to talk about ice today and how important it is. So many people take ice for granted, especially in their cocktails, and especially if you don't even like cocktails. You like your single malt Scotch whiskeys or your good bourbons. You definitely want to pay attention about the type of ice you're putting into your drink, because it is going to melt and it is going to affect the flavor. How people take these things out of the ice cube trays from the freezer that's using tap water and pouring like their $100 scotch or their expensive bourbon or anything for that matter. You paid anywhere between $50 and $100 for a really good bottle of something. Why are you going to put tap water in there? I don't understand it. When it comes to your cocktails, as Alton Brown would say, ice isn't just something to cool the drink, it's software as well as hardware. And what he means by that is, yes, it helps to cool the drink, mix the drink, dilute the drink a little bit, but then you're using it again to keep the drink cold. So it really serves several functions, and some of it's even decorative. One of my favorite molds here is this Fred mold. Fred was one of the original moai found on Easter Island, and as you can see, it's kind of cool. Little moai, these are good for your tiki drinks. I like them because they melt slower down here than they do up at the top where they're thinner. These are good, again, for shaking. But this is a really cool, fun novelty mold. The other types of molds there are, and the most standard one is the ones you could find in your mart stores. Your Walmart, your Kmart, your whatever mart. This easily makes 15 at a time. They're about 1-inch cubes, and they look like this. And these, again, are good for just putting in your highball glass for your rum and coke. They're good for your regular drinks that just calls for ice or on the rocks. And again, you could shake with them. If you are drinking a good bourbon or scotch, you want one large ice cube. They do make them in this size as well. Typically what you want to do is you want to shake with something like this and then pour it over one large cube, so the entire cube lasts the duration of the time it takes you to drink the drink, which is hopefully, I don't know, anywhere from 25 to 45 minutes. Depends on what kind of a day it's been. Now the other ice, which is my favorite because this is really good for tiki drinks and mint juleps, it's called pebble ice. These machines are not easy to find, and they are expensive. They're about $400 or $500. They do make molds like this. You can't really get them like this. The best thing you could do is go to a convenience store or one of your fast food places that sell a 10-pound bag of this. I think 10 pounds of this is equal to about it's about $3. It's not quite $3. I give them $3, whatever, because I don't have time to sit there and wait for change as I'm trying to get it back home and it melts. Again, you would shake with this, and then you would finish with this. If you're making a tiki drink, then yeah, you would put one of these in here to agitate all of these little smaller cubes, and then you would just dump it all into the same glass or your same tiki mug, whatever the case may be. Getting back to the water, you don't have to use this fancy water from Fiji. I happen to like it because it's got a good clean taste. You could use your regular local spring water, as long as it doesn't contain chemicals and that chlorine taste and whatever else is coming out of those pipes in your sink. I don't know how old your house is, but some of these houses are 100 or more years old. The pipes have been in the ground. They've been affected by tree roots and dirt and bugs and everything else. People say get a filter. I don't think that works, because if that works, the people in Flint, Michigan and Newark, New Jersey wouldn't have an issue using a filter when their water is contaminated with lead. I just don't trust it. And before the environmentalists get all bent out of shape about, bottled water, don't buy the smaller bottles if you're at home. Buy the much bigger liter bottles, 1.5 liter bottles. But if you're drinking coffee, you're getting it from Colombia or Ethiopia or someplace else in Africa, which is thousands of miles away. If you're drinking wine, Napa Valley is about 2,000 miles away from New York City. Get it from Italy, Europe, France, wherever, again, you're thousands of miles away. So I don't care if you're drinking Chianti or coffee, whatever you're consuming, it comes from thousands of miles away. There's really just no way around it in the world we live in, at least this part of the world anyway. And I don't spend a lot of money on this. I spend, I buy some of these for my really special ice, and I spend less than $25 a year on this. This I spend a bit more for because I do go in and out of the house. You got to keep well hydrated, especially in weather like this. You can buy the reusable ones. I encourage it. But the deal is those got to be washed. And sometimes they're just not very hygienic, if that's the word, or they get contaminated very easily. Now, if you don't want to go through the trouble of making your ice and you want to have a party and you're not quite ready to start making these, what you could do is you could go to your liquor store and they sell those little round ones with a hole in the middle. I kind of like them because they cool the drink better. They will melt faster, but then if I want crushed ice, you could go and get one of these Lewis bags, a little mallet, and they break very easily when you smash them up. The issue with these bags is, for when it comes to crushed ice, is they tend to stick in there. It can get mildewed, it can get molded, and then you got to wash it. If you throw this in with your laundry, now it's going to take on some of the taste of the detergent or the fabric sheets in the dryer. I would skip this altogether. One last thing I want to show you. One other thing is this I got online. This is pretty cool. This basically makes shaved ice that you could use in place of the pebble ice. It will melt much, much faster though. And with this shaved ice, you can make your snow cone garnish. And it acts as an ice cube and it keeps your drink cold. You slip a straw through the middle. Got a whole little kit here from Cocktail Kingdom. Jeff Beachbumberry resurrected this. It's a long-lost art on how to make these things. They're not exactly easy, but they are fun, and they're perfect in a Navy grog. A Navy grog, a tiki drink, by the way, was one of Frank Sinatra's favorites, so I'm going to be enjoying that maybe later tonight. You could get those edible flowers and just freeze them. And that makes for a really nice garnish, really nice presentation. Probably want a double rocks glass for these larger size ice cubes. I am an ice fanatic. I could talk about this for a really long time, like a real geek or a real nerd. There's so many things to go into, from the molds and how to create clear ice. I'm going to save that for another time, especially the whole clear ice thing. But for now, you have a good idea of what your basic ice shapes look like. And if you're unsure, just get one of these. And if you need crush ice and you can't find the pellet ice, just go and buy a bag from the supermarket or the liquor store and just smash them, because they break very easily because they're hollow in the middle. Ice is very, very important. You want to keep the drink cold, but you don't want to dilute it too quickly, and you want it to taste good. So use whatever water you like or whatever water you're comfortable drinking. You spent a lot of money on these spirits, and you really want to do it right. Mixology is about using the right ice. As a matter of fact, some of these fancier cocktail places in New York, they import their ice, and I don't mean from like another country. They have it made outside. They have it made outside and they bring it in because there's no way for them to make it, there's no way for them to store it, and they like it clear. So they get big blocks and they crack it into individual pieces. Ice is that important when it comes to mixology. And we're going to be going into a lot more in future episodes, especially the whole clear ice thing and garnishes and fancy molds and all that other sort of stuff. Keep cool out there. Hydrate. We'll see you again soon. Cheers.